Hey everybody, Steven Brogram here from Pro Physique. Today I'm talking about flexible dieting.
My name is Steven, and this is our video about health and fitness things. And I work for Pro Physique, and I am just a guy with a fitness thing for you.
So what's up y'all? I hope you're having a great start to the week so far. Happy daylight saving times. Literally the worst thing ever. Hey, have an hour less sleep. Cool, you're welcome. But I digress. Today we're talking about flexible dieting. And it's something important because I do believe there are still some misconceptions about flexible dieting, what it is and what it isn't. And hey, sometimes it can just help to clear those up. Now, where did flexible dieting start? Well, it started with the IIFYM trend, which is where a lot of people were just kind of doing whatever they were doing, and that was cool. It was very cool to be able to lose weight and just eat Pop-Tarts and cereal and chicken or protein shakes or whatever it might be. And so I think a lot of the flexible dieting IIFYM tradition is kind of steeped in that mindset. And do people still utilize it for those reasons? Absolutely. I think the big thing that made IIFYM, if it fits your macros, essentially popular was the fact that you didn't have to do these rigid meal plans and diet plans. You got to choose what you wanted to eat each day. You got to change it up. You could have variety. If you didn't like asparagus, you could have peas or carrots or exactly. It sounds a little bit better for probably most of us. And that was a big thing back then. Fast forward to today, now we always like to call it flexible dieting, or at least I think most of us call it flexible dieting. The reason that we like to call it flexible dieting as opposed to IIFYM is again because the IIFYM, that if it fits your macros, does have that connotation of just kind of eating whatever, eating ultra processed foods, eating things that wouldn't be healthy, right? And really just utilizing a lot of those food choices. Whereas when we talk about flexible dieting, a lot of times we actually do talk about, hey, what is fiber? Why is that important? Why should we still be having whole food sources? Why should we still be utilizing nutrient-dense food sources, fruits, vegetables, those kinds of things in our diet? And this is a huge, huge point to make because I do believe that those things are very important. And I believe that the research backs that up as well. If you look at the research, there are so many different things being said. Keto can be good, low carb can be good, high carb can be good. But we do tend to see a lot of the same food options, which are less processed, more whole foods in general. And this is not me saying you can only eat unprocessed foods, you can only eat organic, you can only eat whole foods. Because to be fair, a lot of companies now use those as buzzwords for marketing. And what organic means to you may not be what organic means on the label. So understanding that that's a big deal as well. But generally speaking, we do want to have a diet, and this is where I really like to kind of focus on, that has enough fiber. And we've seen that fiber has come and gone, and there's been a lot of different fiber drinks and stuff that have been popular. However, if we focus on getting our daily fiber needs from dietary means, that means eating them, cool, we don't have to spend the extra money on other fibers, hopefully. The other nice thing that does is it gives us a diet that is high in micronutrients. We always talk about nutrient deficiencies and why we need multivitamins and these things. I'm not saying that a multivitamin still isn't helpful, because multis absolutely can be helpful. Your boy likes the gummy ones, because I'm a child. But if we can get more nutrient-dense food sources, we get more of our micronutrients throughout the day. And we can do that simply by focusing on things like fiber. All of our vegetables are going to have fiber count. Most of our fruits are going to have some semblance of fiber count. I know a lot of people demonize fruits. I don't feel like that is necessarily valid or fair. Do you only want to eat fruit? Probably not. But are fruit bad? Absolutely not. I don't agree. So I do not think that that is something we need to worry about. And again, that's because they're talking about sugar, which is fructose, which fructose is sugar, but it's not straight glucose or sucrose, so it's a little bit different of a thing. I digress. And that's really where we want to be probably, right? And so when we talk about flexible dieting, we're not talking about eating like bad foods, so ultra processed, simple to digest foods all the time. And we're not talking about eating good foods all the time. We're talking about, the majority of my diet should be these nutrient-dense whole foods. Things that are probably less on the processed side that are going to give me more bang for my buck. And then when I want the processed foods, when I want the cupcakes, when I want the Pop-Tarts, when I want the Lucky Charms, I'm still able to work those in within moderation. And that's what we talk about for most things, right? Most things are okay in moderation. And so for me, I always think of it as like an 80-20 split. Like 80% of my food choices are going to be, lean meats, vegetables, less processed things that are going to like give me good gut health, that's going to make sure that I'm digesting things and pooping like a champion. Yeah. And of course, things that are going to give me plenty of micronutrients. Yes. But guess what? I still like Pop-Tarts. I still like cake. So I'm still able to fit those in within moderation. I just don't fit them in all the time. And so this is, I think, where a lot of people struggle anyways, is this idea that for most of us, dieting means giving up everything we love, right? It means eating chicken and tilapia and asparagus and broccoli and rice and, again, it's not fun. And for a lot of us, it's not necessarily realistic. However, if we can keep those things in our diet on a regular basis and still have some of them, and maybe those, it's just not chicken, or maybe we do turkey or lean beef, or, the options are endless. Things that still manage our dietary needs for our energy expenditure and intakes. Well, cool. So we're not necessarily on this side of the spectrum where everything's terrible, right? And we're just making maybe really non-nutrient dense food choices. And we're not necessarily all the way on the end of the spectrum where we only get tilapia and asparagus. We're kind of in this nice middle ground where, hey, we understand what nutrition means. We're learning why is protein important? Why are carbohydrates important? Why are fats important? How do those affect my body? How can I make those numbers work, and what different food choices work for me, right? We're now learning about nutrition through not only, obviously, hopefully any education, but also a lot of experience as well. And this kind of changes the game, because as you learn as well, you become empowered. And then understanding that, hey, if I want to feel, perform, and probably look my best, I need to not be at that end of the spectrum. I probably do want to be closer to this end of the spectrum where, I'm eating good and nutrient-dense foods. However, I don't have to be at that end of the spectrum all the time. There's some wiggle room here. Energy balance is a real thing. So understanding what flexible dieting is, it doesn't mean eat all the crap all the time. Can you lose weight eating Twinkies? Yes, we've seen it done. We've seen people lose weight eating pizza. Now, the difficult part about that is the volume of food you're going to get for that is going to be much lower. And this is another reason why with flexible dieting, I think those unprocessed, calorie, non-dense, volume-heavy foods are going to be beneficial because they help keep you fuller longer. They help keep you satiated. I can eat a lot more chicken and rice and broccoli for the calories than I can German chocolate cake. Why German chocolate? I don't know. Just sounds good. But if I'm dieting, if I'm trying to get lean, and if I'm trying to make progress in terms of body composition, guess what? That now becomes important because I also have to manage my hunger signaling. I have to be able to legitimately stay on my diet, which means if I'm going to gnaw my arm off all the time because I only ate Twinkies, I haven't set myself up for success. Again, does that mean I can't utilize the fun foods? Absolutely not. But I do want to be a bit more aware, and I want to be strategic maybe with how I utilize those. So what is flexible dieting? Flexible dieting is paying attention to energy needs and demands via macronutrients, right? Protein, fats, and carbs, and still utilizing healthy food choices. It is not eating crap and garbage all the time, right? It's not eating all the easy stuff. It is not necessarily eating clean all the time. It is a more moderate approach that keeps us healthy, yes, but also hopefully fit, also hopefully athletic, also hopefully strong. doing all those things that we want to do with our physique goals as well. And again, in a very realistic, maintainable manner. So for those of you who are new, I hope this helps. For those of you that have been around for a bit, well, I hope you enjoyed it.